Wireless microwave radiation, the time for the truth is now. Part 3. Why does it harm the human body? Today we're going to show you the real reason why we're affected by microwave radiation. What really happens when a radiation field meets the human cell? What is it in a microwave radiation field that is different from a radiation field from the sun? Why is a wireless radiation field known to break our DNA strands, cause diseases and alter the rhythm of our heart, whereas the sun doesn't have such effects? Let us give you a hint. It's not about heat, it's about vibration. And we're going to tell you all about the importance of balance in every vibrating wave field. We'll take a completely new look at the human body, and in fact a new look at every atom in the universe, which may blow your mind. And finally, we'll show you the only way to deal with radiation and render it harmless. Yes, we're going to show you a super easy way to harmonize radiation fields with 100% effectiveness. You're going to learn something brand new in this video. It's based on new science, which is based on a totally new concept of the atom and the human cell. We believe that in order to truly understand this situation, we need to start from the right concepts. And what we're saying is that this is not the right model. Nikola Tesla said that if you wish to know the secrets of the universe, we must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's exactly the point of reference that we will use to explain what is happening to us today when microwave radiation meets the human field of energy, frequency, and vibration. We want to start this conversation so that everyone moves closer to understanding the truth, because that's what sets us free, right? We realize our concepts are new and we're open to any feedback that you have, but please, let's keep it mature, okay? If you have any questions, send them here, and we'll do a webinar with the scientist whose work this is based on. And that will answer everything. So, are you ready? Let's begin. The reason why human beings react to microwave radiation fields is because of the law of resonance. What does this mean? It means that when two vibrational fields in a similar frequency band meet, they will resonate with each other. Let's look at an example of this law in action. Think of two guitars with 6 strings, each note being a representation of a different frequency band and a different vibration. Look at this video and see what happens when the A string is plucked on one of the guitars. What happened? The A string on the other guitar resonated with it, but only the A string. None of the other frequency bands or strings reacted. And in musical terms, this is called sympathetic resonance. Why is this relevant? The reason this is relevant is because every cell in the human body is vibrating in its own range of frequencies. In fact, your body is radiating too. And the frequencies in your body are very close to the range of frequencies of microwave radiation fields. You can see this illustrated on the electromagnetic spectrum provided by NASA. This is a complex topic because there are many different frequencies in each organ of a human body, but to keep it simple, just think that the radiation frequencies as they move from 2G towards 5G are getting closer and closer to the range of frequencies in the human body. Now let's map the guitar experiment onto the meeting of the human body and a microwave radiation field. So imagine that the cell tower is the first guitar, and this is the guitar whose string is plucked. It sends out vibrating microwave radiation fields, which are radiating in a certain frequency range. Now imagine that the human body is the dormant guitar. As a string, it is in the same frequency range as the radiation, and as it walks around, it meets this field. What happens is that the string of the human body starts to resonate with the vibration made by the string of the cell tower. So just like the dormant guitar did, the human body starts to vibrate in sympathy with the radiation field. It starts to pick up the rhythm and the behavior of this radiation field. And your next question is going to be, so what? We're also walking around in the sun's radiating wave fields all day. So why is this such a problem? This is where we show you the vital difference between these two wave fields that everyone is missing. The crucial quality in a radiation field is not just whether it is ionizing or non-ionizing, it's whether the radiation field is balanced or imbalanced. If it is imbalanced, then the human cell will pick up this imbalance too. And this is the foundation for dis-ease in the body. As we saw in video 2, there are 6,000 studies on rats which show that this imbalance is the trigger for many serious diseases. You'll be astounded at just how many health studies have found that wireless microwave radiation causes serious diseases, and we'll put these useful references in the notes below too. We're very grateful that you've got this far, and it's our pleasure to explain in full the important role of balance in a healthy body. Let's look at a picture of some human cells from inside the body. What do we see? We see donuts, a tray of white donuts. Each cell is a torus field, and this geometric shape repeats itself in many of nature's designs. In fact, the University of HeartMath has shown that we have two toroidal fields of energy around our body that emanate from the heart. Now look closer at the cell. You see an empty space in the middle. Bear in mind that there is no sign of a nucleus there, nor any matter. It's just empty space. So what we have found is that inside this torus field, in the absolute center, is the 0 point. And we have measured that there is no electrical charge at this point. In fact, it's a magnetic point. It is totally still. We've also found through our experiments that this cell is actually a spinning ring of electrical current. Basically, it's a spinning ring of light. So you see, it's a pretty well kept secret, but we are all beings of light. And the magnetic 0 point holds each spinning ring of light in balance. When it is centered absolutely, we have a healthy cell and a nice looking torus-shaped ring of light. Now let's have a look at what happens when microwave radiation affects a real live human being, me. Here are 3 samples of my blood. The first is the baseline with no exposure to microwave radiation for 12 hours. Healthy blood is normally represented by nice circular shape and space around the outside and good movement. Have a look at the shape of the cells. It's a negative picture, so black is white and white is black, the opposite of the picture that we just saw. But see how the torus shape is the same. The pictures on the right are in 2D because the blood sample is on a petri dish and it's a negative view of the photo on the left, meaning that the hole in the middle of the cell looks white, but actually it's dark. It's the empty space in the middle, and that's where the 0 point resides, holding the light ring in balance to make a healthy donut-shaped cell. The second sample is taken 20 minutes later, and look what happens. Can you see the difference? And guess what I did in those 20 minutes? I watched a video on my phone for just 20 minutes. And just think, you've been using your phone for how many years? 15? 20? Maybe some of you give your kids a tablet to watch in the back of the car to keep them quiet. Well, you may want to rethink that strategy. Because just 20 minutes of watching a video on a mobile phone made all my blood cells stick together like this. This is called Reuleaux syndrome, where the blood cells adhere to each other. It's not a disease, but it makes the delivery of oxygen to the cells in the body and the elimination of CO2 more difficult. And it makes it harder for the blood cells to pass through the capillaries. So this is not an ideal situation. In fact, it causes stress and challenges the immune system. And no one ever said that stress was a good thing for the body. It's the root cause of the 6,000 peer-reviewed studies that have shown how microwave radiation induces serious disease. So why did this effect just happen? This Reuleaux effect is an invisible reaction inside the body. It's the result of an imbalanced radiation field, which you can't see, meeting a balanced human cell, which is inside the human body. But we want to draw this out so that you can see what it might look like. This is one of your billions of cells, drawn from the top of the cell, or the donut. We see the 0 point in the geometric center. The light ring draws energy from this magnetic 0 point to spin around it in an anti-clockwise direction. The 0 point is maintained in the center, and we have balance in the human cell. Now look at the radiation field. It behaves differently. The 0 point does not stay in the center. It moves away from the center and it never settles. The light ring moves with it and the shape becomes imbalanced and irregular. So it's like an agitated wave field, never settling into the perfect torus shape. Now there's a reason why this radiation field is uncentered, but we're going to leave that until the advanced class. But you can send us an email and we'll tell you. And then the human cell reacts on a vibrational level when it comes into contact with the radiation field. The human body is a big electrical antenna, and when each cell, which is a balanced spinning ring of light, meets an imbalanced radiation field whose 0 point is constantly straying away from its center, the result is that the human cell starts to resonate in sympathy with the radiation field, so it picks up its uncenteredness. It picks up the bad vibe. The cell starts to vibrate with uncenteredness and imbalance. And this puts your body and your immune system under stress, which we've shown you already in the blood samples.
So, to summarize,
because the human body is made of cells which are electric light rings shaped like a torus or a donut, the body becomes a giant antenna. It responds to everything it meets. Because the radiation wave fields are in the same frequency range as that of the human body, the body resonates with this radiation wave field. Remember the two guitars. The guitar being plucked is the cell tower, and the guitar that responds to it and resonates with it is the human body. Now, because the radiation wave field is uncentered, the human cell starts to act in sympathetic resonance, and it starts to become uncentered and imbalanced too. The 0 point starts to stray from the geometric center in the cell, and now we have an imbalanced cell. And that's what you see in the live blood analysis when the cell turns from this to this. But it gets worse. Your body is always looking to return to balance. Whatever stress it's under, it looks to return to centeredness and calm. And the key thing that your body needs in order to deal with this stress from microwave radiation is rest. So think about this. How much time away from your screens or computers are you giving yourself? And what do you think the results are likely to be if you carry on exposing yourself like this? And the even worse news is that it's worse for kids because they have thinner skulls, higher water content in their body, which conducts the radiation, and also lower immunity because their bodies are still developing.
and it goes without saying that this is a bad idea. If you're a pregnant mum, know that radiation is all about proximity. The closer to the cell the radiating device is, the more it will affect the cell.
And now for the good news. Yes, finally some good news. Here is a third video, which again shows my blood after watching a video for 20 minutes. But this time we've put the Omnia Radiation Balancer on the phone. Can you see the difference? So the good news is that we found a way to return the offending radiation wave field back to a centered, balanced structure so that it will not cause dissonance in the human cell. We make it go from this to this. When a radiation wave field is returned to balance, it won't cause those harmful effects that we've seen in the 6,000 peer-reviewed studies on rats. And the orb will work on any strength of radiation field, even 5G. And lastly, we did say before that we would reveal why the sun's radiation is different. It's because it's already balanced. It might create enough heat to burn through my skin sometimes, but as a balanced radiation field, it's essential to all life on the planet.
So, whereas the scientific studies we mentioned earlier have shown that all sorts of diseases have been caused by wireless radiation, such as DNA damage, endocrine system damage, heart rate variability complications, cancers inside the body, cognitive and mental impairment, and even infertility, and we've shown you that this imbalance is happening in the blood after watching just 20 minutes of video on a mobile phone. But you don't get these from the sun, because the sun's rays are in resonance with the vibration of the human body, and there would be no life without the sun. So, not all radiation is bad. You just have to find the right way to bring it back to balance.
In the next video, we're going to show you how the orb works, and we'll detail all the other things that you can do to remove this toxic, stressful effect of microwave radiation in your life. So we look forward to seeing you there. But just before we go, what we've shown you is only a fraction of 35 years of research by Ilija Lakicevic, or Laki, into the true concept of the atom and how radiation really affects us. If you'd like a copy of his book, which explains everything, including the provable, true concepts of the atom, of gravity, of magnetism, and even of electricity, then please email us here. We have experimental proof of all the effects that we've described in this video, so we welcome any questions or challenges as long as they're polite and well thought through. Also, we know full well that most of you will say that the reason why microwave radiation affects us is because of excess calcium in the cell, which causes oxidative stress, and this is based on Dr. Martin Paul's work. Dr. Paul's research focuses on the membrane around the outside of the cell called the voltage-gated calcium channel. The VGCC is responsible for letting the calcium into the cell, but it gets super excited by the radiation field and it lets too much calcium into the cell. This disrupts the balance in the cell, and he observed that it causes oxidative nitrosative stress. This leads to free radicals in the cell, and free radicals is the precursor to all disease. The most important of which, from his observations, was DNA damage. But what we're saying is, why is that membrane, the voltage-gated calcium channel, so sensitive to microwave radiation? We've just told you.
On the left, the human body is in a healthy balance. The 0 point is dialed into the geometric center of the cells, keeping them in a nice torus shape. This balance is important to our health. Along comes a radiation field with a 0 point which is always straying from the center, and this means it's an imbalanced wave field. The effect you can see on the right is that the human cell starts to resonate with the radiation. It picks up the uncentredness of the 0 point in the radiation field, so the cell starts to become imbalanced too. Over time, this can cause complications in your body. It's the root cause of the VGCC reaction, and it will most likely cause disease in the body.
So anyway, that's a wrap. So that really is it. Thank you so much for watching. We love you, and we want you all to be safe while we tackle this crazy situation which is 5G. We do urge you to have a look at the test results we've achieved with the Omnia Radiation Balancer, because it will make a huge difference in your life over the long run. And that's it. See you in video 4, where we're going to explain how the orb works and what else you can do in your life to protect yourself. Namaste. Just remember that when a balanced human cell meets an imbalanced radiation field, the result is that the human cell becomes imbalanced too. And you can prevent this from happening to your body with the Omnia Radiation Balancer.
Please give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can find us on all these other social media channels too.